Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihare So we'll chant the Dwadashakshari mantra, the 12-syllable mantra that we usually chant before the Srimad Bhagavatam class. There are many important mantras with various number of syllables in them, and this is the 12-syllable mantra that we'll all chant. And just as a reminder as to where we find these mantras, or this mantra, Srimad Bhagavatam starts off with this Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and also almost 2 billion years ago, Narada Muni gave this mantra to Dhruva Maharaj, and along with other austerities, he was able to see Lord Vishnu face to face. And it's also part of the Payo Vrata sacrifice, the 12-day sacrifice that Kashyapa Muni taught Mother Aditi, and eventually Lord Vamanadev appeared as her son. And the Shaligram Shilas are also worshipped with this mantra. So we'll chant this 12-syllable mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swavatantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagrana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatata Satarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langai Degiram Yatripatam Hamande Shri Gurun Dina Taranam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayata Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvise Namaha Namo Brahmane Devaya Go Brahmane Taya Jagaditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So on behalf of ISKCON Scarborough, I'd like to welcome each one of you to this very auspicious day where we are celebrating Shivaratri. A little more about why we are celebrating and what are the important reasons why we are celebrating and the glories of Lord Shiva from Srimad Bhagavatam as well. We will hear. But before we start, we will narrate or chant 2 wonderful verses from Srimad Bhagavatam that glorifies Lord Shiva. So we will chant one of the verses first, which is from 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 16th chapter, and the verse is 32. Easy to remember. 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 16 is 32. So by the time we meet next time, we will all remember this verse. Very easy to memorize it. 8, 16, 32. Before I chant this verse, the context of this verse. So few minutes earlier, we heard about Payovrata sacrifice. So when the demons or asuras had defeated the suras, you can say devatas, at that point in time, they lost the kingdom. All these devatas have lost their kingdom and they're gone into hiding. And at that moment in time, Aditi, the mother of the devatas, prayed to her husband Kashyapa Muni, and she's praying for the kingdom to be retrieved back so that the sons, Indra and everyone else, can come back and rule the kingdom. So the 12-day Payovrata means milk sacrifice, just sustaining on milk, but it's not just drinking milk for 12 days, which by itself is very difficult, but it's not just drinking milk and that's not a sacrifice. There are 7 wonderful mantras that are chanted, to be chanted by Mother Aditi, and also various sacrifices for 12 days. And eventually, what happened? Vamanadev appeared as her son, and then we know how Bali Maharaj was defeated and the kingdom was retrieved. So this is a beautiful verse that glorifies Lord Shiva. Actually, it's a verse that is one of the 7 verses that is chanted to please Lord Vasudeva, but this verse is to please Lord Shiva. So it goes hand in hand. So glorification of Shiva to get the mercy of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Namah Shivaya Rudraya Shaktidaraya cha Sarva Vidyatipataye Bhutanapataye Namaha. The meaning of this verse is, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Shiva or Lord Rudra, who is the possessor of all power, who is the savior of all living entities, and he is the possessor of all knowledge. So this is a beautiful verse that glorifies Lord Shiva, and by glorification of this verse and 6 other verses, and by following this Payovrata sacrifice, Mother Aditi was able to get Lord Vamanadev as her son. So Namah Shivaya Rudraya Shaktidaraya cha Sarva Vidyatipataye Bhutana Pataye Namaha. So fascinating verse glorifying Lord Shiva from Srimad Bhagavatam, and the reference is 16.32. It's very easy, 8:16:32. So we will narrate another verse glorifying Lord Shiva as well. This is from the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 4:6:43. Okay, 4:6:43. Tvam eva bhagavan etat Shiva shaktyo swarupayo Vishwam shrujati pas yatsi Kridan urnapato yata. My dear Lord Shiva, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. You create, you maintain, and you annihilate through your expansions, just like a spider creates, maintains, and annihilates a spider web. So very, very beautiful verse glorifying Lord Shiva. So these are just sampling of 2 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam that glorifies Lord Shiva. So today is MahaShivaratri celebration, not just in ISKCON Scarborough, but universally. It is celebrated not just in this material world, it's celebrated universally. So MahaShivaratri. Maha means great, Shiva means auspicious. So that's the meaning of the word Shiva. Shiva means auspicious. And from the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we read Shiva. The 2 syllables will uproot all of one's sinful activities. So Shiva means it uproots all of one's sinful activities, and Shiva means auspicious. So MahaShivaratri means night. So tonight is actually MahaShivaratri, and it is celebrated in all the temples that we know of. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for 2 years, from 1510 to 1512, he traveled through South India, and he went and visited so many Lord Shiva temple. He went to Egambareswara temple. For those of you who are from South India who visited South India, you know there are many, many powerful temples of Lord Shiva that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited. Egambareswara temple, Chidambaram temple, Rameshwaram, Kalahasti, Sri Sailam, many temples are there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combined incarnation of Lord Shiva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combined incarnation of Lord Krishna, and Srimati Radharani visited these wonderful temples. So in all these temples, this MahaShivaratri is celebrated wonderfully well. And also the Panchatattva, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we have the Bhagavan Tattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we have Prakasha Tattva, Balaram, first expansion. And we have Vishnu Tattva, Advaita Acharya, was a combined incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadasiva. So we'll hear more about Sadasiva. Sadasiva means eternally auspicious. So he's an expansion of Mahavishnu and Sadasiva. And then we have Shakti Tattva, Gadadhar Pandit, and we have Jiva Tattva, Narada Muni. So not only in these temples, but also the 12 Jyotirlinga temples. Some of you would have visited Kedarnath, Somnath, Kashi Vishwanath temple. So in all these temples as well, MahaShivaratri is celebrated wonderfully well. And also about 3 to 4 weeks ago, I was in Nepal, Pashupatinath temple. So there wonderful celebrations take place in Pashupatinath temple. And for those of you who visit Jagannath Puri temple very often, so about 60 kilometers from Jagannath Puri is Bhubaneswar, and then you have the Lingaraj temple as well. Massive temple, ancient temple. So some of us are fortunate to go there. So if you get an opportunity to go and visit these temples and get the blessings of Lord Shiva, it'll be fantastic. So it'll be great for all of us. So it's celebrated everywhere, this wonderful MahaShivaratri. And you have heard of Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. Reality is simultaneously one and different without contradiction. That's what is Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. Reality is simultaneously one and different without contradiction. So why I bring this up is in Bhagavad Gita 10.23. Lord Krishna teaches us that Rudranam Shankaras Chasmi. Amongst the Rudras, he is Lord Shiva. So 10.23, Lord Krishna is saying, amongst the Rudras, and we know there are 11 Rudras, he is Lord Shiva. And he repeats this again, almost verbatim, except for one word, in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11.16.13. Lord Krishna teaches Uddhava, Rudranam Nila Lohita. So amongst the Rudras is again Lord Shiva. Nila Lohita is Nilakanta, and we'll hear that pastime as well. So this is Achintya Beda Beda Tattva, simultaneously one and different. And so when we worship Lord Shiva today, we get the blessings of Lord Shiva, and because of that, we'll get the devotion towards Lord Krishna. So there are many wonderful pastimes that glorify Lord Shiva. But before that, we have all heard the very powerful mantra of Lord Shiva. MahaShivaratri. So this is the Panchakshari mantra. MahaShivaratri. There are many syllable mantras that are very powerful. 6 syllable mantras. So if you go to Nepal, if you go to Thailand, where the worship of Lord Buddha is very prominent, Om Mani Padme Hum. That's a 6 syllable mantra that is used to worship Lord Buddha. Om Mani Padme Hum. That means the jewel is within the lotus. So it's a very esoteric mantra. Then we have 8 syllable mantra, that is Om Namo Narayanaya. 12 syllable mantra is the one that we just chanted, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 18 syllable mantra we have from Gopala Thapani Upanishad, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Swaha. So many syllable mantras are there. Of course, the 32 syllable mantra is the most famous mantra that we all know. Anybody? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There's also a 45 syllable mantra that we chant during the Srimad Bhagavatam. We introduced that. Anybody remembers for Shaligram? Om Namo Bhagavate Vishnave Shaligrama Nivasine Sarva Vishta Palapradaya Sakala Durita Nivarine Shaligramaya Swaha. Removes all inauspiciousness and brings in all auspiciousness. So there are many syllable mantras that are very powerful for Lord Shiva. It is Namashivaya. So these 5 syllables are represented by the 5 faces of Lord Shiva. So when we say Shiva, it is Sadashiva. Sadashiva means eternally auspicious. And there is this Upanishad that you may have heard, Pancha Brahma Upanishad. So Pancha Brahma means it's not 5-faced Lord Brahma. Brahma, as we know in our universe, he's got 4 faces. But Pancha Brahma means reality is expressed in 5 ways. And just like in our Vaishnava tradition, we have Pancha Brahma, and that is Vasudeva, Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Narayana. Similarly, in the Shaivite tradition, we have Pancha Brahma, and that is represented by anybody? Satyojata facing the west. Then we have Vamadeva facing north, Agora facing south. We have Tatpurusha facing east, and we have Ishana facing above. So these are very esoteric forms of Lord Shiva. But then when you see any Shivalinga, when you go to these temples like Pashupatinath temple, you see the Shivalinga. Shiva is represented by the Shivalinga, which is the formless form of Lord Shiva. But when you closely observe it, it's got a carving of 5 faces on 4 sides as well as on top, or it'll have an engraving. If there is a silver kavacha that is put on top or a gold kavacha, you'll see the 5 faces on 5 directions. 4 directions plus the direction on top. So these mantras, the 5 mantras for the 5 faces of Sadashiva, are part of this Pancha Brahma Upanishad, which is also part of Taittiriya Aranyaka. So when we do fire sacrifices, these are very important mantras. And when you go to Kedarnath, these mantras keep reverberating. So it's a very powerful mantra, which is also part of Mahanarayana Upanishad. Mahanarayana Upanishad, many of the mantras that we chant, many of the Gayatri mantras, not the main Gayatri, but many of the other Gayatri mantras are part of, as well as Durga Suktam, and all these wonderful mantras are from Mahanarayana Upanishad. So these Pancha Brahma mantras are very auspicious to be chanted on any day, especially on Sivaratri day. So we will chant the Pancha Brahma mantra from Taittiriya Aranyaka, which is also part of Mahanarayana Upanishad, so that Lord Shiva's blessings reach all of us. I know some of you know this mantra, so you can chant it. Just take a couple of minutes. Satyo Jatam Prapadyami Satyo Jata Yavai Namo Namaha Bhave Bhave Nati Bhave Pavasvamam Pavodbhavaya Namaha Vamadevaya Namo Jeshta Yanama Shreshta Yanama Rudra Yanama Kala Yanama Kalavikarana Yanamo Balavikarana Yanamo Manonmana Yanamo Agore ebhyo tagore ebhyo gora gora tare ebhyah sarve ebhyah sarva sarve ebhyo namaste astu rudra rupebhyah tatpurushaya vidmahe mahadevaya dhimahi tanno rudra prachodayat Ishana sarva vidyanam Ishvara sarva bhutanam Brahmadipatir Brahmanodipatir Brahma Shivo me astu Sadashivom. So that's the Sadashiva we are mentioning here. The Shiva, eternally auspicious Shiva, is Sadashiva, who's got this 5 heads facing the 5 directions. And that is represented, each one of the 5 faces is represented by the Panchakshari mantra, Namashivaya, and also represents the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So again, on this auspicious day, we meditate on Lord Shiva to get his unlimited blessings, so that we get the devotion towards Lord Krishna as well. So why is this MahaShivaratri? So we heard MahaShivaratri is very auspicious, celebrated across the world and universe as well. So why is this MahaShivaratri celebrated? So one, according to our scriptures, Linga Puran especially, it says MahaShivaratri is celebrated because this is the day that Lord Shiva got married to Parvati, because we have Sati as well. So this is here the past time. Lord Shiva got married to Parvati on this particular day. So that is one of the reasons why MahaShivaratri is celebrated. The second reason is Lord Shiva performed his Tandava dance on this day. Now you may be wondering, Tandava is the dance that Lord Shiva dances at the time of destruction, right? But there are two types of Tandava dance. One is the Rudra Tandavam, which is at the time of the dissolution of the universe. But this is Ananda Tandavam. In happiness he dances, and it is said that when Lord Shiva dances, Tandavam dance on this day, MahaShivaratri day, the rhythm of the universe aligns with the rhythm of the dance of Lord Shiva. So the heartbeat, the waves of the oceans, everything aligns with Lord Shiva's Tandava dance today. And also, today it is Lingotbhava. So Lingotbhava is the day, there is a wonderful pastime, we may not have time to go through that, but it's a fascinating pastime where an unlimited pillar of light was shown, which had no ending and no beginning as well. And that is the source of the 12 Jyotirlinga temples that we just referred a few minutes ago as well. So that happened on this day as well. And one of the reasons why MahaShivaratri is celebrated, it is also said that that's the day when Lord Shiva drank the Halahala or Kalaputa poison. So we'll hear that pastime as well, which glorifies Lord Shiva as well. So these are the various reasons why MahaShivaratri is celebrated universally today or tonight. And is there do we know if Lord Krishna celebrated MahaShivaratri? Yes, very good. Yeah, so when we go to Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, 34th chapter, Lord Krishna was 8 years old at that time. So how do we know he's 8 years old? Because this particular pastime happened after the Govardhan Puja pastime. So Govardhan Leela, at that time Lord Krishna was 7 years old. So this happened after that. So he was around 8 years old at that time when Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd men went from Vrindavan west 750 kilometers to Gujarat to Ambikavana. So we read that from the 34th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam of the 10th canto. So they all went actually on bullock cart 750 kilometers west to celebrate Sivaratri. So we read that from Srimad Bhagavatam. And they all went there, they fasted, they drank only water. And anybody remembers what happened there? As part of the celebration, they were fasting and they were just drinking water. And in the night, a huge snake started swallowing Nanda Maharaj. And every cowherd men that took, torches of fire or wood of fire, and they started beating the snake in spite of at the risk of them being swallowed by the snake. But Vaishnavas are very considerate and they were trying to save Nanda Maharaj, but nothing was happening. So the snake continued to swallow Nanda Maharaj. And what did Nanda Maharaj, the father of Lord Krishna, do? My dear Lord Krishna, I surrender to you, please save me. So this is a lesson for all of us. When we are in trouble, we genuinely seek the help of Lord Krishna and we say, we surrender to you, Lord Krishna, I have no one else but you. And then immediately Lord Krishna placed his lotus feet on the snake, and not only Nanda Maharaj was saved, but actually the snake was saved as well, because the snake was cursed to be a snake. He was a Vidyadhara called Sudarshana in the previous life, and he had ridiculed the sages of Angira Muni, and they cursed him. Curse is always a blessing. So he was relieved by Lord Krishna, and then he went back to Vidyadhara planet. So this is a fascinating pastime. But this pastime confirms that Lord Krishna, when he was 8 years old, as well as Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd men, celebrated MahaShivaratri as well over 5,000 years. So we're following in the footsteps, and we are all celebrating MahaShivaratri today. And one of the main reasons why MahaShivaratri is celebrated is because it's the marriage day anniversary of Lord Krishna marrying Parvati. So this happened in Rudraprayag. Has anybody been to Rudraprayag? Yes. Prabhu has been to Rudraprayag, so very, very fortunate. So, I was very fortunate as well. A couple of years ago, as part of the Char Dham Yatra, we had to take an helicopter from Dehradun to go to Gangotri, Yamunotri, Badrinath, Kedarnath. And then we were supposed to go from one place to another place and just come back. But fortunately, there was so much of dense fog, so we were stuck in Rudraprayag area. So we were fortunate because we were thinking, can we complete this trip, etc. Because we were stuck there, fortunately by the mercy of Lord Shiva, we were able to actually go to Rudraprayag and go to the temple in which Lord Shiva got married to Parvati. So we know from the 4th canto, Sati was the consort of Lord Shiva, and wonderful pastime with Daksha, and then she self-immolated herself, and she incarnated again as Parvati, as the daughter of Himalaya mountain. And this marriage took place in Tri-Yugi Narayan temple. So this is a fabulous temple, thousands and thousands of years old, ancient temple, and Akanda Dhuni. So there is actually a fire yajna. There's a yajna that is going on. The fire keeps burning. It is said it's continuing to burn from Satya Yuga. So now we are in, in this Kali Yuga, but it's continuing from. So that's why it's called Tri-Yugi Narayan Mandir. And then Lord Vishnu acted as the brother of Parvati, and Lord Brahma was the officiating priest for this wedding. So if you visit the temple, you can also offer wood so that this Agni continues to burn for many thousands of more years, like it's been burning for many more past years as well. So that's the actual temple in which this marriage of Lord Shiva took place, and that is the anniversary that is being celebrated during this MahaShivaratri as well. So from there, you still need to take a helicopter to go to Kedarnath, but it's relatively close to Kedarnath temple. Beautiful ancient temple. So again, there is a history of Lord Krishna taking part in the Shivaratri celebration, as we heard from 10.34, as well as one of the main reasons why this MahaShivaratri is being celebrated is to commemorate the anniversary, the wedding anniversary of Lord Shiva with Parvati. And we will also hear some of the wonderful pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam. As we know, Srimad Bhagavatam was penned down by Vyasadeva, who is the 17th incarnation of Lord Shiva. So that means Lord Krishna is writing this. So when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, it's penned down by Lord Krishna in one way, because it's penned down by Vyasadeva, who is none other than Lord Krishna in his 17th incarnation. So the beautiful appearance, the wonderful appearance of Lord Shiva or Lord Rudra is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Very early in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see how the mind-born sons of Lord Brahma, the four Kumaras, they were asked to procreate. Okay, now procreate and have children and populate the world. They said, no. We don't want to get into that. We want to only meditate. So at that time, Brahma was very angry, and between his eyebrows appeared Rudra. So 11 Rudras appeared. So we read the appearance of, and one of the Rudras is Lord Shiva. So the appearance of Lord Shiva is wonderfully described in Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as his abode. Some of you may have even traveled to Kailash, and if you've been to Nepal, Kathmandu and the Muktinath, because as we are going to Muktinath, which is in the high altitude, you visit Kathmandu, Pashupatinath temple, and on your way back, when you're coming from Kathmandu back to Delhi, we were fortunate again, the pilot was able to tell us about the actual location and actual Kailash mountain that you can actually see if you're sitting on the right side of the plane, for those of you who are planning to go. So if you're sitting on the right hand side, you'll be very fortunate to see that it's further away. It's not very close, but very clearly you can see the Kailash mountain. I mean, this is from the material standpoint, but from Srimad Bhagavatam, we read the glories of Kailash mountain in the 4th canto, 6th chapter. There are beautiful rivers there, Nanda and Alakananda. It is said the dust of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna is there in these two rivers, as well as there are beautiful ponds where the devatas and the demigods, they come and take bath there. And yesterday I just came from Mexico to the Toronto Pearson Airport, and we were waiting till they allocate a particular gate for us to come, and then so many aeroplanes were landing, taking off. So here in Srimad Bhagavatam, in this beautiful description of Kailash, it is said many aeroplanes made of gold land and take off in Kailash. So many planes come and land and take off in Kailash, and there are mystical caves, beautiful waterfalls, colorful birds. So fascinating description of Kailash mountain is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 6. If you're able to get some time today, especially, it'll be very auspicious for you to read the description of Kailash mountain. So that's where Lord Shiva resides. And also, as far as the pastimes are concerned, what we need to learn is the glories and the characteristics of Lord Shiva that we can imbibe through his mercy. So one of the longest pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam is in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's got 234 verses, and this is the pastime with Daksha. So does that name ring a bell? Daksha's pastime. So anyway, very big pastime. This pastime, stresses the characteristic of Lord Shiva, who is supremely tolerant. So we all know Shikshashtakam prayer, the 3rd verse of that, Trinadapi Sunichena Tanori Vrishalishnuna. So more tolerant, humbler than a blade of grass, but more tolerant than a tree. So there is no other better example than Lord Shiva, who's tolerant than anything that we can imagine. So in this, and also he's also referred to as Ashutosh, as you know, very easily pleased, and he also forgives very easily. So this is a fascinating pastime that we read again from Canto 4, where there was a massive fire sacrifice that was being conducted by Lord Brahma. So all the galaxy of luminaries were there from all the universe, all the famous personalities were there to take part in this fire sacrifice that is organized by Lord Brahma. So Lord Shiva is already there, great personalities are there. Then comes Daksha. Daksha is the father-in-law of Lord Shiva, the father of Sati. So he comes and he's a very famous personality. So everybody, just imagine if there is a president who's coming to a function, then everybody will stand up and give him respect. So he's a famous personality, powerful personality. So when Daksha comes, everybody stands up and they're offering him worship, except Lord Shiva. And it's not that Shiva is not giving him respect, but he was in deep meditation when he was in the audience for this wonderful fire sacrifice. And Daksha only looks at him to see whether the son-in-law is giving him respect, and obviously he was not giving him respect. So in front of everybody, he actually, the way you have to read in Srimad Bhagavatam, the way that Shiva was mistreated there. He was talking about how Shiva always lives in the crematorium, how he puts all the ashes on his body. He does not wear, flower garland, but garlands made of skull, and his eyes are this bad looking, etc., etc. So, and this is not one-on-one softly saying about Shiva to Lord Shiva. This is loudly spoken in front of the most famous personalities, not that in a small company. This is in all the, luminaries are there, galaxies from all the galaxies are there. So if any one of us were elsewhere in this position, we'll be so embarrassed and we'll be retaliating, more importantly, but not Lord Shiva. So he was the embodiment of tolerance. So he did not react to this. You can say it's a nuclear grade embarrassment, supernova of shame and intergalactic embarrassment. But Lord Shiva did not react to that at all. So he was very calm, no reaction. And then in anger, because Lord Shiva was so tolerant, Daksha left that fire sacrifice. He left. And this animosity of the father-in-law towards son-in-law, not vice versa, or not both ways, the father-in-law towards the son-in-law continued many, many thousands of years. And then there was one more fire sacrifice that was performed by Daksha himself. And all the galaxy of luminaries were there, famous personalities were there. And at that time, Sati said, the wife of Lord Shiva said, I want to go and attend this wonderful function that is organized by my father because I want to see all my relatives. It's been a while since I saw all my relatives, so I want to go. Lord Shiva also knows past, present, and future. He said, I advise you not to go because you are going to get embarrassed and it will be a bad consequence. You don't go. But Sati said, no, I want to go meet my father, but more importantly, meet my relatives. So she goes there, and then Lord Shiva is mistreated there, even though he's not physically there, and no offering is made to Lord Shiva. And then Sati, the wife of Lord Shiva, is really upset with her own father, and she says, I don't deserve to have this body that is because of you. You're my father, and I got this body. I'm embarrassed. So with her mystical potency, she self-immolates herself and leaves her body. The news reaches Lord Shiva, and this is justified anger by Lord Shiva. And then with the tuft of his hair, he takes, and then he creates a very fearful personality by the name of, starts with V, Virabhadra. Yeah, so Virabhadra comes with Nandi, the bull carrier, and wonderful pastime, right? I'm just truncating it in the interest of time. So all of them come towards this fire sacrifice, and usually the fire sacrifice, what is offered? Ghee, and grains and ghees are offered. So Virabhadra comes, knocks the teeth out of Daksha because he was talking all bad things about Lord Shiva. He knocks the teeth of Daksha and then eventually cuts his head. And the head is put into the Agni as a sacrifice, like Swaha. The head is put into the fire sacrifice. So as a punishment for what he had done by Virabhadra, who's created as a fiery demon by Lord Shiva. So this is justified anger. So one is the embodiment of tolerance when he was spoken badly in front of everybody. But this is justified anger because for no fault of Sati, she had to self-immolate because of Daksha. And then he's also, the quality of Shiva is Ashutosh. He's easily pleased and he forgives. So as a result of that, even though he's dead for what he did, which he should not have done, Daksha, but he's a very important personality in the context of the universe. So Lord Brahma and all the Devatas, remember, Lord Brahma is the father of Lord Shiva. He appeared from his eyebrows. So Shiva is there in Kailash, and then Lord Brahma and all the Devatas go to Kailash. We just heard about the beautiful description of Kailash briefly. So they all go to Kailash mountain and they offer wonderful prayers. If you remember one of the prayers that we chanted, Tvam eva bhagavan etat Shiva shaktyo swarupayo vishvam shrujati pas yatsi kridan purnapado yata. So the father is offering worship to the son, my dear Lord, my dear Lord, my dear Lord. So 14 wonderful verses are there, and they pray to Lord Shiva so that Daksha gets back his life. He's already dead. He doesn't even have a head. His just body is lying down. So with the prayers that are offered to Lord Shiva agrees, and a goat head is placed on Daksha and he gets back to life. He falls at the feet, Daksha falls at the feet of Lord Shiva, asks for forgiveness, and he goes back and completes the yajna, and because of that, Lord Narayan appears face to face to Lord Daksha, who's still in the goat head, and in his 8-handed form, Lord Narayan appeared to Daksha. So this is the supreme nature of Lord Shiva, forgiving nature of Lord Shiva, in spite of what Daksha had done, because the Devatas and Lord Brahma had asked for forgiveness and for the life of Daksha to be brought back, he agreed. So again, these are the qualities of Lord Shiva that we can pray to Lord Shiva for us to get. One is this extreme tolerance, right? So we in our life, we will be embarrassed on a daily basis, at home, at work, everywhere else. Again, so if we remember this pastime on this holy day, auspicious day of Shivaratri, we can be more tolerant. So Lord Shiva will bless us to be more tolerant and also to be more forgiving. So somebody can do bad things to us, and as you can see, can there be anything more bad that can be done to anybody than what Daksha had done to Lord Shiva? But still, he got his life back because of the merciful nature of Lord Shiva. So these are the things that we can remember from this wonderful pastime, which is in Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto. As I said, it's one of the biggest pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam, 234 verses, again glorifying the extreme, supreme tolerance of Lord Shiva, forgiving nature, and how easily he can be pleased. So we'll go to 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a fascinating pastime as well that glorifies Lord Shiva as the regulator of the cosmic order. So cosmic order is maintained and managed by Lord Shiva. Now, if you're thinking, Lord Shiva in the 7th canto, how can it be possible? Because 7th canto is Lord Nrsimhadev, Hiranyakashipu pastime. That's what some of you may be thinking. But here, this is a wonderful pastime that is narrated by Narada Muni to Yudhishthir Maharaj in the 7th canto, where the demons or the asuras worship Lord Brahma, and he's also another personality who gets pleased very easily. So they worship Lord Brahma, and then Lord Brahma says, I'm very pleased with your austerity and sacrifice. Please tell me what you want. So then the demons say, we want 3 flying cities. flying cities, one made of gold, one made of silver, and one made of iron. And we wanted to be not seen, invisible flying cities. So Lord Brahma grants them the vision, and all the asuras or the demons are in this flying cities made of gold, silver, and iron, and it flies everywhere. And what do? Demons have the power. If a terrorist gets AK-47, what is he going to do? So here they have this flying cities with all the power in that, opulence in that. So they start destroying the universe. The devatas are put out of power, and therefore the devatas run to Lord Shiva. My dear Lord Shiva, because of this mercy by Lord Brahma, the demons have got this powerful, invisible 3 flying cities, and we are destroyed. We are coming to seek your blessings. So Lord Shiva says, do not worry, do not fear. And he takes his bow and arrow. By the way, don't think that Lord Shiva has only got the Trishul. He's very famous to carry bow and arrows as well. So he takes his bow and arrows, releases it. He's able to see. Others cannot see the invisible flying cities. He's able to see and destroys all the demons. And that's not the end of the pastime. All these demons fall into a pot of nectar, because these flying cities were created by a mystical demon by the name of, anybody? Tripuras, yeah, coming to the end result, but Maya Danava is a mystical demon. You would have heard in Mahabharata as well what he did. So he's the one who built these 3 wonderful cities, but he also built a pot of nectar. So when the arrows hit these demons, they fall dead into this pot of nectar, and they come back with more power like thunderbolts. So it's a very, it's a predicament what to do. Yes, they're all killed, but they come back to life with more power. Then Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma assume the form of a cow and a calf, and they go and drink this nectar. So whenever the demons are now killed, there is no more nectar for them to come back to life. So at least no more coming back to life. And then only Lord Shiva knows. So this is not in Srimad Bhagavatam. So far what we heard is in Srimad Bhagavatam, but this part is not in Srimad Bhagavatam, but you have it in Linga Puran. Only Lord Shiva knows that these 3 cities are aligned in one line once every 1,000 years. So he takes the arrow that is given by Lord Vishnu, and he releases that arrow that destroys all the demons and all the 3 flying invisible cities. And that's when he gets the name Tripurari, the destroyer of all these 3 flying cities. So again, he maintains the cosmic order when there is imbalance in this universe. Another wonderful pastime is from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that glorifies Lord Shiva as Para Dukkha Dukhi. So this is another term that we have heard very often. Anybody Para Dukkha Dukhi? One who's unhappy to see others suffering. So anybody who's unhappy when they see others suffering, somebody trips and falls, you don't laugh. Normally, oh, he tripped and fall, or she. Here, when somebody's falling, it's the pain that causes for others when others are suffering. So that is the extreme nature of Lord Shiva, is Para Dukkha Dukhi. So again, we will quickly go through this wonderful pastime. It's one of the biggest pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam as well, from the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anybody remembers how this pastime starts? So, Durvasa Muni is a very angry, powerful sage. They say short fuse, he's got a short fuse. When they say somebody's got a short fuse, he can get angry very, very quickly. Pastime, Sambarish Maharaj pastime, etc. in the 9th canto, but this is in the 8th canto. So he's walking, and then Indra comes along, and he's riding on his carrier, which is, Indra's carrier is not Airavata in this case, because Airavata is not come into existence yet. He's still on an elephant, but it's not Airavata. Because of this pastime, during this pastime only Airavata appears later on, but the start of this pastime is he's riding on another elephant, but not Airavata. So he's riding on this elephant, and Durvasa Muni is so happy to see Indra, and he gives him this garland that he's wearing. And Indra takes this garland and he puts it on this elephant. He does not know the value of the power of this garland, and he puts it on this elephant. An elephant, being an elephant, takes it in his trunk, throws it down, stamps it, and goes. And Durvasa Muni sees that, and he curses. He's an angry man. He curses Indra to lose everything. Not only Indra, but all the devatas. So very quickly they lose everything that they had in their possession. So in their power. So they go to Lord Brahma. My dear Lord Brahma, please help us retrieve back our kingdom. And he goes, Lord Brahma and the devatas go to Lord Vishnu. Usually Lord Vishnu takes this Sudarshan Chakra and he kills all the devatas, and that's the end of the pastime. But this pastime does not end like that. So Lord Vishnu tells Lord Brahma and the devatas, have a pact, have a truce with the asuras. Churn the ocean of milk. Keep Mandara mountain as the churning rod, Vasuki the snake as the rope, and churn this ocean of milk. So for those of you who go to, anybody been to Thailand? Thailand, you've been to Thailand? Yeah, so Bangkok airport is there, and the name of the airport is Swarna Bhumi. Can you believe that? The name of the airport in Thailand is Swarna Bhumi, golden land. Thailand, motherland. Right? So when you think, it's a very mystical country as well, because many parts of Ramayana occurred there. And even when I go for my work-related trips, the rooms are all called as Ramayana, Rama, etc. So it's got a lot of, Okay to continue. Yeah. So here, this churning of the ocean takes place. There's a truce between the devatas and the asuras. And during the churning of the ocean, I'm again fast forwarding this particular pastime. the first thing that comes out during the churning of the ocean of the pastime is hala or kalaputa poison. So they are churning so that they get the nectar, but what they get is opposite to nectar. They get the poison. That's the first thing that comes. And then Lord Vishnu directs the devatas. The universe is going to be destroyed. Please go to Lord Shiva and ask for help. He's the only one who can help. So they go and worship Lord Shiva. And what does Lord Shiva do? He's paradukka dukhi. He's not happy when others are suffering. So he does not go right away and take care of the poison. What does he do? Before he drinks, what does he do? He looks at his consort, Parvati. Can I go? And of course, Parvati says, yes, please go, right? So again, it's a lesson for all married Prabhujis as well, right? So gets the permission of his wife, and then he goes and he drinks. It's not like a small drop of poison, right? It's got the potency to destroy the entire universe, and he drinks that poison to save the humanity and the universe as well. He drinks it and he holds it in his neck, and that's why somebody said Tripurari at that time. What is his name? Nilakanta. So he holds that poison in his neck because he is Asutosh, is easily pleased, and more importantly, is para dukha dukhi. So again, on this auspicious day, we can meditate on Lord Shiva and seek his blessing so that he's a merciful personality. So any problems that we have, material problem, spiritual problem, we can seek his blessings for that to be going away as well. So that is a fascinating, and by the way, the pastime does not end with Lord Shiva drinking the poison, and then what happens? All the good things started happening. So Uchai Surabhi the cow, Uchai Shava the horse, Airavata the elephant, and then he takes that elephant. This elephant, I don't know what happened to this elephant who threw that gauntlet and caused all this problem. He's gone, and now Airavata elephant. Then there are 8 male elephants who are guardians of the 8 directions of the universe, 8 female elephants who are their consorts. Then we have Kastuba jewel, Parijata, Padmaraga, all these wonderful things, 12 different things, and eventually nectar comes, and we know this pastime how it ended as well. Mohini Murti avatar is one of the incarnations of Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. We are okay with the time, right? Yes. Okay. So Mohini Murti avatar also incarnates, and also the Kurma avatar is also the origin of Kurma avatar is also in this particular pastime, because Mount Mantara started going down, and then Lord Krishna incarnated as Kurma, and then this very heavy mountain Mantara was placed on it so that the churning of the rod could take place, so that the nectar can come. So another wonderful realization from this particular pastime is the nectar was not, immortal nectar was not to be had from anywhere outside. It was already there within the ocean of milk, but all the bad things need to be taken away. So Lord Shiva had to drink that poison, and then all these wonderful things came. So here, for the love of God and Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Sabonai, Shavanadi Siddha Siddha Karaya Udaya. So here, by chanting and hearing, we'll be able to take all the nasty things out first with the mercy of Lord Shiva. Then the pure love of God can be realized from within us as well. So wonderful pastime. So we need Lord Shiva's mercy to take away all the things that we don't need: lust, anger, envy, pride, illusion, etc. So once all that is slowly reduced, then we will have the love of Godhead as well. So we will, probably there are many pastimes. Again, I'm restricting the glories of Lord Shiva on this auspicious MahaShivaratri day to the pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam. So maybe we will conclude with one more pastime from Srimad Bhagavatam that glorifies Lord Shiva's nature of saving the world. So this is from the 9th canto. So we heard from the 4th canto, from the 7th canto, from the 8th canto, from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Can anybody remember any glorious pastimes of Lord Shiva? We did the Abhishek, right? So Lord Shiva likes Abhishek or not? Lord Shiva likes Abhishek because why? Eternally something very cold is falling on his head. Which water? Ganges water. So all of us have gone to Niagara Falls, very close to Toronto. During the summer when you go there, you have the Maid of the Mist. Has anybody been on the Maid of the Mist? Most of you would have, right? So as you go so close to the place where the water is actually falling down, you can see the power of Niagara Falls. This is just Niagara Falls. Now, for those of you who've been to Gangotri, I've been to Gangotri, but not that you see that, but the horizontal force, lateral force of Ganges is almost, you cannot take, I was having this aim of going and taking a good bath, in Ganges so that, meditate on all the sins. So there's no way. So the moment you put your leg, you're miles away from where you put your leg. So they have heavy chains for you to hold, tie yourself, etc., just to put your finger there. And it's ice cold, beyond ice. I can't even explain. So if you put your hand in the freezer for 5 minutes, how do you feel? That's how the cold the water is in Gangotri. Now, the force of Niagara Falls is something that you can imagine how powerful the force of Niagara water falling down. This is not even close to the force of Ganga that can fall to this earth. So again, the origin of this particular pastime is there is a great king called Sagara, King Sagara, and miraculously he survived and he was born. He was poisoned in the womb when he was in the womb of his mother. So he was supposed to be, yes, 5 minutes? Okay.
Because they want to offer the flowers.
Oh, okay.
So give a chance for everyone to offer.
Okay. So let's quickly wrap this in 5 minutes. Thank you for the heads up. So here there is a king called Sagara, and then he was poisoned in the womb, and he was supposed to be dead. He was not even supposed to be born. By the mercy of Lord Krishna, he's born, and then he rules the kingdom. He's got 2 wives, Sumati and Keshini, and then from the first wife he's got many sons. Srimad Bhagavatam says 60,000 sons. And the father Sagara is doing Ashwamedha sacrifice. Ashwamedha sacrifice means horse is an integral part of it. Horse goes to every country, and all the kings shall accept that the owner of this horse is the king of the country. Again, we'll talk about that on another day. So this horse is going everywhere, and Indra steals that horse, and then he puts it near Kapila Muni's ashram. So Kapila Muni is meditating. He steals the horse and puts the horse next to him. So the 60,000 sons of Sagara goes there in search of the horse because the sacrifice is incomplete. And they see Kapila Muni is there, and they think that Kapila Muni stole the horse and brought it there. So it's like somebody taking a wallet from your pocket and putting it near Mataji, and then Mataji will get caught, right? Why you have this wallet? So here, this horse is placed next to Kapila Muni, and then the 60,000 sons are actually accusing Kapila Muni for stealing the horse. All he does is looks at them. All of them burn to ashes. All of them are burned to ashes. And then the second wife's sons, they one by one, Amshuman and others, they go, finally Amshuman goes, retrieves the horse. This time he goes and worships Kapila Muni, not accuses him of the horse. My dear Kapila Muni, we need this horse back for completing this sacrifice so that my father Sagara can go back to the spiritual world. So he takes the horse, ensures that his father goes back to the spiritual world, but then he's not able to deliver the 60,000 uncles who had actually been burned to ashes. So finally, in their line of tradition or in the ancestors, in the future generation, Bhagirath comes. Anybody remembers Bhagirath?
Yeah.
So Bhagirath worships Mother Ganga, and then Mother Ganga accepts to come, but Mother Ganga is saying, how can I come? If I come, the force of my water will destroy earth, not only earth, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Taratala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala, all the way to go to Patala, because it's so powerful. Right? Just imagine like you take a nail and you hammer it, right? It'll just go right through. So the force of Ganga will go right through it. So I can't come and help everybody get delivered, but who's there to sustain? So the only person who can sustain is Lord Shiva. So then Bhagirath worships Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva accepts, and then the force of this Ganga is taken on by Lord Shiva in his head. And even today, as you know, when anybody passes away, we take the ashes and then we mix it in, or we take it and merge it into Ganga so that they all get delivered. So not any other river. If you don't have a choice, of course we put it into ocean because all the rivers go into ocean eventually. But if you get a chance, we merge the ashes into Ganga. So again, these are wonderful, wonderful pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam that glorifies Lord Shiva, his supremely tolerant nature, as we heard from this Daksha pastime. Ashutosh is easily pleased. So we may have committed so many sinful activities. So Shiva on this day is very merciful, and he will be able to, by his forgiving nature, by his nature of being easily pleased, we have a chance today on this wonderful day of MahaShivaratri. So just to conclude, so today is the day, MahaShivaratri, great, auspicious. Shiva means auspicious, the two syllables Shiva is able to uproot all sinful activities according to 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and night, Ratri is night, which is tonight. So on this day, this is the day when Lord Shiva got married to Parvati. This is the day when Hala Hala poison was actually swallowed, you can say, by Lord Shiva. And this is the day when he danced, the Tandava dance, not the Rudra Tandavam, but Shiva Tandavam, Ananda Tandavam, you can say. And this is the day that Lingodbhava, the unlimited beam of light, pillar of light, which had no beginning and no end, which is the cause of the 12 Jyotirlinga, was today as well. So with that, we'll conclude because we have to go to the next part. So we don't have time to have any questions or comments, but maybe during Prashadam time we can take on that as well. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaura Premanande, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.